Sent to Living Hope when I came out as a teenager, I practically grew up in the ministry. I was at Living Hope's support group on Thursday nights and the healing prayer group on Tuesdays. I lived with Ricky and his wife for a few months and in Living Hope's recovery house for a couple of years. I ate lunch at Ricky's every Sunday afternoon. I was his go-to dog sitter, his ride home from the airport, his protege, and his first pick to give my testimony before he spoke to churches about hope for healing from homosexuality. Where I come from, good kids aren't gay, and all I wanted was to be good. What a horror, then, to listen to Ricky's sermon about the prodigal son, fully aware that I was still a lesbian. What's a queer person to do in that situation, when the only people we've ever known and loved believe our love is disordered and our bodies are broken? How does someone in their mid-20s, whose brain is still developing and who's never known life outside of fundamentalism, begin to imagine an honest and integrated life? Was there any other way for me to be good? A way that didn't require me to shut down, suppress, fragment, and annihilate integral parts of myself to belong? We serve a Father in heaven who longs to throw us a party, Ricky said to close out his sermon. All we have to do is come to the end of ourselves and come home. So here's my question to those of you who might be in the far-off place tonight. Are you ready to come home? In the eyes of my community, I was home. I was denying myself, which meant no sex, love, or intimacy with women. No hand-holding, no snuggling, no kissing, no fantasizing, no daydreaming about creating a life with a loving partner. That night, though, I couldn't help wondering, at what cost? And was it really me who was home? Or was it the image of myself I presented in order to fit into a religious system that either couldn't or wouldn't make room for queer people who told the truth about themselves? In the years that followed, I often thought, maybe they just don't understand. Maybe if someone like me told the truth about myself and stayed in the Evangelical church, they would see the humanity of queer people and be moved to embrace us. Maybe we could grow in love together. Chapter 2. My mother converted to Christianity when my oldest brother was a toddler. She probably wouldn't describe it as a conversion if she were telling this story, though. She'd say she got saved. She would say she had been utterly lost, given to blackout drinking, waking up in her car with no memory of the night before, and then she found Jesus and everything changed. She quit drinking. She quit smoking. She joined a weekly Bible study that forbade her from seeing R-rated movies. Eventually, she dragged my father to the neighborhood Baptist church in their suburb of Houston, setting the pace for their new rhythms as a growing family. Gone were the days when she lived in darkness, when she lived according to the desires of her flesh. She was a new creation. I wanted to be a good mom more than anything else in the world, I remember her saying in my earliest memories. When Michael was born, I looked around and thought, the good moms take their kids to church. So I took him to church and I met Jesus. My mom immediately found a place to belong in the neighborhood church. Suddenly, she had a group of women she could call upon when she was in need. Women who brought casseroles when she was sick and sent encouraging cards when she was sad. She had walking buddies and prayer partners. She found mentors in the church, wise elders who were eager to nurture her spiritual growth. And in this lonely world, where many of us suffer in silence, that kind of intimacy is a healing balm. Before she became a Christian, she felt lost when it came to questions of meaning and morality. Now she had a moral framework that told her exactly how to be good. The year before my mom became a Christian, Jerry Falwell founded the Moral Majority with the express purpose of mobilizing conservative Christians to rally behind a Republican political platform. 2 years before that, James Dobson started Focus on the Family with the mission of nurturing and defending the God-ordained institution of the family. My mom looked to leaders on the Christian right for moral guidance and answers to the many questions she brought to Christianity. They told her what was right and what was wrong, who was good and who was bad. The enemies were the feminists, the gays, the liberals, and the people who wanted to keep prayer out of public schools. By the time I came along, 6 years after she became a Christian, my mom was deeply fearful of secular influences on her children. My mom prayed for me from the day she learned she was pregnant. With joy and anticipation, she prayed for a baby girl who would grow to love the Lord. She prayed for my future husband, believing God already knew the boy who would one day be my rock and my protector.